Hello all. So we are back from our trip to Kentucky on the Bourbon Trail with our neighbors, Brian and Denise. Shout out to them. They've got a YouTube channel called 2MotoQ. Go check them out. They do a channel on motorcycle and hunting. So go check that out. But what I wanted to go over today was our haul from our trip with them. So what I've got here is just the bourbons that we came back with and some of the miscellaneous stuff. So the first thing I'm going to start with is our barrel seagrass. It's a rye whiskey finished in separate Martinique rum barrels, Madeira brandy barrels, and apricot brandy barrels. So they distill their bourbon and then they break it out into 3 parts, put it in those barrels, let it age, and then put it back in. The original bourbon was sourced from Indiana, Tennessee, and Canada, so they don't say exactly who they sourced it from, but they're basically a blender. That's 110 proof, and it's won a bunch of awards, but it was on Dawn's radar, and we had been wanting to try some of the barrel products as well, but she heard some good things about that and wanted to try it. The next thing on our list is Old Grandad 114. So this is something that I used to get a lot of, and I got it strictly because I wanted the higher proof to mix in cocktails, because I wanted that higher proof to come through. And it was relatively inexpensive, and it tasted good. But lately we haven't been able to find this up here in northern Indiana, so I wanted to kind of be on the lookout for it. And we did not see it in many places down there. And then when we did, it was around, $35, $38, which I thought was a bit much for that. So we finally found it for $26, so I grabbed a bottle. But this is made by Jim Beam, and it's 114 proof, as the name suggests. It's a high rye mash bill. And again, it's one of my favorite mixers. And one of the interesting things about this is the Old Grandad mentioned in this is actually Basil Hayden. So the brand was created by Raymond B. Hayden, named after his grandfather, Meredith Basil Hayden Sr. So that's where that name comes from. The next one on our list is Old Bardstown. It's made by Willett Distillery. It's a bottle and bond 100 proof, and I believe it's only really distributed in Kentucky. I haven't seen it anywhere else, and this got on our radar because one of our friends had gone down, gotten it, brought it back, and brought it to our studio and let us taste some. And Dawn really liked it, and I didn't think it was bad, and she wanted to get some. So when we looked for it and found it, we bought it. So it's not an overly high price. It's very reasonably priced. So, and again, it doesn't matter what the bourbon costs, only that you like it. Then next is our Stellum Rye. Now we had gotten their bourbon, which is actually this one, before, and really liked it. So we wanted to try the rye. We saw it down there. We got a bottle, brought it back. So we'll tell you how the rye is. But again, it's sourced from Indiana, Tennessee, and Kentucky whiskey. Again, they're blending. This one's 116 proof, and it's actually made by the same company that makes the barrels. But whereas the barrel brand is something that is unique to every batch, That's what you can expect from that name, and then whatever their sub name is. But the Stellum brand will be consistent. That's what they're striving for. They want this brand to be consistent, so they'll blend, but to this consistent taste. This next one is a 375 milliliter bottle of Starlino from Rabbit Hole, and this is a Kentucky straight rye whiskey, but it's finished in vermouth casks. So they make their rye, age it, then they put it in vermouth casks for 6 months, and then bottle it. And this is start of their limited edition Distillers series, or I should say Distilleries series. Of this particular one, there was only 2,112 bottles produced, and this one is number 573. And one of the reasons why we got this was that we wanted to get something that we couldn't find anywhere else, that was unique, that we could only get at the distilleries. So they suggested this. I think that was the only thing they had there was a distillery owned or gift shop owned product. And then as we were holding it, at least 2 different guests came up to us and said they really loved it, and agreed that we should get it. So we got it. We also got, along with it, their cherries. So we'll have to try the cherries. So on to page 2. Green River. This is from a new distillery, although it's one of the older distilleries. In fact, it's DSP KY10. So it was the 10th distillery in Kentucky. But pretty much after the Prohibition, they didn't do too much. This one's 90 proof. It's 70% corn, 21% rye, and 9% malted barley. This one's aged more than 5 years, but they don't tell you exactly how many. We purchased this because Brian and Denise, our neighbors that went on the trip with us, really were looking for it and was searching it. So we decided to grab a bottle as well. This one I think was newly produced this year. So the other interesting thing that I knew about it was that the barrel or the bottle was an interesting design. This one is in the shape of a horseshoe. Going on, this is our 4-gate Bluegrass Trilogy number 2. This is by far the most expensive bottle that we purchased. It is 124.9 proof, and it's bottled 940, and there were only 957 bottles produced. So we got pretty much close to the last of it. So this one is one of 3. The first one, second one, and third one. So this is the middle one. There's 3 bottles in the set. We got this at Justin's House of Bourbon, which is a bourbon. It's a whiskey kind of liquor store, although they basically just have bourbons and whiskeys. But they're kind of the high-end, hard-to-find, rare or specialty bourbons. So if you want something, he will have it at a price, but he'll have it. This one we got was on my list to get or look out for, if I could find one at a reasonable price. And they had all 3, however we didn't know which one we wanted, so we actually tried this one and really liked it. That's the other thing that you can do at Justin's House of Bourbon is that you can actually try a bourbon before you buy it. So we tried this and it was really good. So we bought a bottle. So this will definitely be one that we drink slowly throughout its life. This one is finished in Apera sherry casks, also dark rum casks. So two different casks, and then they'll blend it back together till to the point where they like the blend. And again, only 957 bottles, and this was number 940. The Stellum bourbon, again, we like the bourbon. It was, you know, reasonably priced when we saw it here home, and we saw it again. We just wanted to buy another bottle just to have it. This one's just a 109 proof. So the next one is the Penelope Barrel Strength. This one's distilled by MGP. It's 116 proof. It's 4 grains: corn, wheat, rye, and barley. We got this at the same place we got this one, Justin's House of Bourbon. Our friends Brian and Denise got the toasted barrel version, which was on their radar. That's what they wanted to look for. This one is just the bourbon's the barrel strength at 116 proof. And originally I grabbed the toasted barrel, and Don got talking to Brian, and we said, you know, we'd get one and he'd get the other. He said, well, he wanted the toasted, so we said, well, get the toasted and we'll get the barrel strength and we'll try it. This is the one we didn't try there, but we could have, but we knew we wanted something from there anyway. The next is Maker's Mark FAEO2, which is the second release in their series of wood finished series. Now the FAE stands for and I'm going to look on my list specifically for fatty acid esters. So typically when you chill filter something, a bourbon, takes a lot of those fatty acid out, but they specifically put them in there. They put them in specifically more by taking additional French wood staves and toasting them and putting them in the barrel. And not only did they toast them, they double heated them. So the first one is they heat the wood, and then they toast the wood, so it produces two different flavors. And then they stick them in, and I don't remember how long they actually kept them in there. I think the regular 46 is 6 months, but I'm sure it's probably about that. But I've got the number 1 series, and I've been looking for the number 2 series and haven't seen it anywhere. And so when I saw it, I grabbed it. And the other one is Woodford Reserve. Typical Woodford Reserve, nothing special about this other than the label. So this is their Kentucky Derby series, number 148. And every Kentucky Derby bottle has a unique label on it. So when we were looking for this down there, we didn't see it anywhere. We kept asking, and everyone said, well, about another 2 weeks for it to be released. And we walked into one liquor store and they had it right there front and center, so I grabbed it. We didn't get last year's, even though they produced it, although I think they produced it limited series or amounts. But our liquor stores up here in northern Indiana did not have any that we found or were able to find. The next one, Blue Run Kentucky Straight High Rye Bourbon Whiskey. And this one is 65% corn, 30% rye, and 5% malted barley. Now this particular one was released in February of this year, and it was on my list to find, so I wanted to go out and find it. This is made by one of our favorite distillers, Jim Rutledge, And so he oversaw everything about it, and it was actually distilled in one of our favorite distilleries, Castle and Key. And it's 4 years old. The next are the Pinhooks. So this one is the rye, and this one is the straight bourbon. And they're named after horses. So this is Bourbon Heist. The horse stands 16 hands tall. This particular one is 98 proof. And this one is named after Hard Rye Guy at 16 1/3 hands tall. And it's 98 proof. We like the Pinhook series, and when Dawn saw these little bottles, she just had to have them. So they only had the two, so we grabbed them. And the other things that we got at Jim Beam were some rock glasses. So we got Little Book, we got Booker's, then at Heaven Hill we got Elijah Craig, and then at Old Forester we got an Old Forester glass. And then Michter's, we got one of their Glencairns. So that was our haul of bourbon and miscellaneous items. We also got a t-shirt from Heaven Hill, which I don't know where it went, but it just said Heaven Hill and had an image on the back. Some point we'll have to show you what Brian got. He got the exact same shirt, although his Heaven Hill is slanted for some reason. So he texted me saying, "Is yours like this?" And I'm going, "No." So maybe mine's wrong. So that was our collection. Although we did get one more. We walked into one store, and Brian and I are looking at the bourbons and talking, and the gals struck up a conversation with the store clerk. And I'm looking, and all I hear out of my corner of my ear is, I wanted to say this before, but I had to wait for the client, for that gentleman to leave before I got these out. And with that, I looked over and I saw he had 2 boxes in his hands. And I looked at him going, I know what those are, but why does that box look odd? So what he had was 2 boxes of Blanton's, but in the small 375 milliliter size. So we were on the lookout for Blanton's because we wanted to our neighbors to get some, and not only did we find Blanton's, we found the even rarer 375 milliliter bottle. So I think we did very well on this trip. So that's definitely going to go on our shelf and be displayed proudly. And eventually it'll get drunk because all bourbon is made to drink. So that rounds out our trip. We definitely look forward to going back again. Want to do more of the craft distillery tours. We weren't able to go on any real tours because they were all booked. They've been booked, 4 months and months in advance. Although we did get a little mini tour at Michter's. But so we're gonna go back, see some more. Definitely want to keep this going, and it's good to have some more friends that like to go on bourbon hunts. So until next time, like, subscribe, and share this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, happy hunting. Hello, I'm back. So I found where the other stuff went to, was on the couch. Dawn got Old Forester's hat. At Michter's, we picked up American whiskey, which is Over 300 whiskeys and 110 distilleries tell the story of nation spirits. So it basically lists a lot of the actual bourbons and information about them. So kind of a little catalog dictionary. At Heaven Hill, we got one of their bar towels. And at Peerless, we got one of their bar towels. Oh, here's that shirt. Except our neighbors is kind of going that way. Although, as a funny, I sent a picture of mine that way, and I said, is your background graphic upside down? He laughed at that. And the last one we got was that Old Forester. We got a long sleeve shirt with a graphic of Old Penny, or Big Penny, what do they call it? Big Penny. And I've actually got a t-shirt from there, but it's blue, but it's, again, a t-shirt. So now that rounds up our haul from this past weekend. Just a quick trip down, quick trip back. But hopefully we get to do it again real soon. So now, this time out.